So now that chapter 1166 has dropped, the world can only think about one character coming off of it. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it, but I'm talking about Barbell, the father of the sea, the strongest fishman in the verse, the man marked by flames, the father of water. He goes by many names, but yet, despite all of his epithets, Oda has not given us a shred of him ever since his God Valley debut. We're well past God Valley, Oda. Why are you hiding this Fishman? We're here to talk about it because I held a couple of polls surrounding Barbell and just Fishman in general. So, getting right into it, Oda, why haven't we seen more Barbell? I pulled this up. We have 4,000 votes approximately. 27% of those votes. That's a lot of people, mind you. Over 1,000 people in a room believe that Oda is saving him for later. He's not done yet. We're going to get more of him in the King Harald flashback. But I cannot ignore the 73% of botted votes that picked the option that says that Oda forgot about Barbell, or that Barbell is useless. I can't believe it. Who paid money to get bots to vote in this poll? Damn it. So, jokes aside, Barbell, he could very well make a reappearance soon. And this goes back to a long-running theory. A theory that says that Barbell might have been captured by celestial dragons. Sounds crazy at first, right? But think about where we're going. Harald is going to the Holy Land. Harald has bent the knee. He's becoming a world government dog. So if he goes up there, we're going to see the Holy Knights. We know that Harald and the Holy Knights are kind of like this. So much so that they talked about visiting King Harald's grave when they showed up here in Elbaf. So that being said, if we see the God Knights, maybe we see that they also picked up a pet from God Valley, and that pet is the pirate Barbell. I know what you're thinking, Sai. You just have an agenda for Barbell. Sai, you just really like this character, so you're twisting the narrative in any which way to get him in. And I take great offense to that. And while that's not necessarily wrong, you gotta admit, Barbell could squeak his way in here somehow. And I just feel like it would be a great plot point if Harald witnesses one of Rox's crew members becoming a slave. How would he feel about that, right? He already feels bad about betraying Roxy Zabak. So imagine how he would feel if he went up to the Holy Land and saw Barbell, his best friend's mate, as a slave. Not for any crazy reasons, but simply because he's a fishman. Harald is going to be like, oh my god, maybe the world government are the bad guys. Maybe that's the wake-up call. And imagine Barbell, tugging on his chain, saying, please, please, Harald, save me, save me. We both know Rox. He always loved you, man. And then Harald has to, swallow it up and say, no, Barbell, you're a slave now. I'm doing this for Elbaf and for Rox. That'd be crazy. Aside from that, we gotta remember that in one panel, two panels actually, if I count them, Barbell has fiery hair. Why? Why does Barbell have fiery hair? It's kind of like Hyogoro. People pointed that out. Hyogoro did have fire-like hair for a while when he was in his prime. And then as he got older, it kind of just went away and he became bald. Barbell's the same way. He had fire hair when he was first introduced. And then we jump over to God Valley and he has no fire hair whatsoever. He's actually just bald. Why? Why did Oda get rid of his hair? Is it a power? Is it simply just a receding hairline that got really bad? We don't know. There's a lot of mystery surrounding the pirate Barbell. So much so that people are saying that he might even be the man marked by flames. That's right. Sai, wait, what do you mean man marked by flames? That makes no sense whatsoever. Hear me out. The flame hair he had could be why he's marked by flames. The black ship, that could be explained because there was a black ship, a black slave marine ship off the coast of God Valley. Maybe Barbell took it. Boom. And then the final road poneglyph that went missing, that was located at Fishman Island. Who is Barbell? He's a fish. Boom. There we go. 3 shots that put him up on that list for a man marked by flames. Is he that guy, in my opinion? No, this is ludicrous. But is it a fun theory to play with? Yes. So, yeah, as far as Barbell goes, another thing to keep in mind is that pretty much most of the Rocks pirates have had some sort of screen time. I know we haven't gotten much out of Stussy, for example. People are saying, oh, Stussy got tossed to the wayside, and I agree, but here's the thing. We at least saw Stussy in multiple panels. We saw who she was leaving with Ganzui and Gil Bastar. We don't have that for Barbell. Even Kyowo, we saw his introduction with the hood, we saw him posed up, and then we saw him getting kicked by Marco, and then we saw him leaving God Valley. For some reason, we have gotten 0 from Barbell. And just think about Barbell, right? He's not exactly a pushover. He should know Fishman karate. We saw him in the one panel he was in. He was like this. He was posed up. I wouldn't be shocked if he knows Fishman Muay Thai. That's right. It's more than just karate. There's jujitsu, there's aikido. There's so many different styles Barbell could master. I think he knows one of the deadliest martial arts. He is a Muay Thai master. That's right, guys. Barbell is a man that we cannot underestimate. He could very well show up in the next chapter of One Piece, and let me tell you, that would be the chapter of the year. It would be up there with the Harley text, the Shamrock reveal, God Valley reveal, the Rocksteeds of Beck reveal. I think learning Barbell's fate is going to be absurd. Let's just see what everybody's saying about our guy here. This top comment, oh my god, look at this. Preaching the gospel. Oda can't reveal the strength of the man marked by flames just yet. And you might be wondering, Sai, why did Barbell... Here's the thing about the man marked by flames. People ignore the timeline often. The poneglyph only went missing after Roger found the One Piece. Roger finds the One Piece, then boom, the Fishman Island poneglyph mysteriously goes missing. Why did they wait? Well, Barbell, his name should remind us of a very prominent character in the series. A character that was a part of the Roger Pirates. Yes, that's right. I'm bringing up another Fishman, and that Fishman is the pirate Sunbell. Rumor has it, I was walking by the grapevine, and it said, Sai, there's a good chance that Barbell and Sunbell are related. Their parents are related. So, maybe Sunbell was the one who came up with the idea after Sunbell reached Laughtale and learned the truth of the world with Roger. Sunbell went to his brother Barbell and said, hey, Barbell Nissan, we must hide the Fishman Island poneglyph until it's time, until the right one shows up. And then Barbell says, yes, brother. And together, they are the men marked by flames. This says, the fish cooked by flames. How dare you? How dare you? The man marked by flames, aka grilled catfish. Bro is peak endgame character. Everyone knows that. No. Guys, it's serious. No! Oh, man, I love catfish. I am currently rewatching Prison Break, and they're about to execute the guy, Lincoln, and they're like, hey, Lincoln, what do you want for your last meal? And I was thinking about that. Genuinely, my last meal will probably be crawfish, like 5 pounds of crawfish, or just catfish, dude. I love seafood. Oda, be like, why are some people making such a big deal about this guy? Focus on Rocks, Roger, and Garp. No. We've been around the One Piece block for quite some time. We know what Oda's playing here. Whenever there's a background character that we haven't seen in a while, that Oda went out of his way to introduce, there's going to be some nasty lore there. It's going to be disgusting. Remember Marco? Before we knew about Marco and that he was like the first division commander, Marco Polo, Phoenix Fruit, all that. Guess what? Marco was just a random guy in the background. Hell, he had black hair at one point because the animators did not care about him. He was a background detail until Marineford, until the Ace flashback, until Wano, and then God Valley with his dad. Barbell is going to be the exact same way. At first, he may just seem like another pirate, kind of like Shanks. Remember when we first saw Shanks, that feeling we had inside of us saying, oh, this guy's just a pirate. But we had like that little voice in the back of our head saying, oh, no, Shanks is more than just a pirate. He's probably going to be really important. That voice was correct. Shanks ended up being a Yonko. Oh my God, he's a Garland now. Barbell could be the same way. Yes, on the surface, he's just a pirate. He's just a fishman. But below that, there could be so much more. Next comment. 5 years from now, we realize Barbell is the One Piece treasure and Sai can finally sleep peacefully. Brother, I know I'm joking partially about Barbell, but I swear, if Barbell does actually end up being the man marked by flames or some stupid relevant character, I'm never going to let it down. It's one of those things where like, okay, I'm joking, guys, I'm joking. But when it comes true, I was serious the whole time. Yes, the stock's paid off. No, that's how it always is, man. That's how it always is. He's just as important as Bogard the Slander. Just wait till Oda shows what he did to earn a Barbillion berry bounty. Loki might just be a slave of the Celestial Dragons, which would be big. We, at that point, could call Barbell the world's strongest fishman slave. Maybe this was the guy that freed Fisher Tiger. Imagine that. We don't know how Fisher Tiger initially escaped Mary Geoise. Imagine it was because of Barbell. Barbell's like, Fisher Tiger, you must lead the revolution. You must find the sun. And then Fisher Tiger is like, yes, Barbell, yes. And the reason why the Sun Pirates adopted the Sun logo is because of Barbell's hair. That's right. Barbell started it. He is the hidden captain of the Sun Pirates, the captain of Jinbei in the past. The man marked by flames. We can't see the true potential of the Knights of God Slayer yet. Sai be looking like a skinny Barbell. I'm wearing blue for a reason. I wore blue just for this video. There's a million characters who cares about 99% of them. There's a million characters who cares about 99% of them. I'd say there's a lot of characters in that 99%, brother. The man marked by flames for sure. This guy in Barbell, a man's cope will never die. I'm telling you, Oda never forgets characters. Characters get a panel, even after being inactive for 1,000+ chapters. If he showed everyone, leave the island except Barbell, either Oda saw Sai's video and is trolling him, or there's a reason Oda did not show him. I do like the Celestial Dragon slave route. Like, I don't think that's a bad one. You know, Barbell as a slave, I think it would be pretty tough. Sai is going through a tiny sample of Bogard fans' pain. Jump onto the paw, Sai. Take our pain. Barbell has become fish and chips now. I'm guessing he was one of the pirates slain by rocks, dude. It can't be off screen. There's no way that's off screened. So on to the next poll. Who is the strongest fishman in the series? I put the 4 that I think are the toughest ones out there, and people have been mentioning Jack the Drought as a fishman as well, and I can acknowledge that, but I just feel like these guys would be stronger than Jack, so that's why I didn't include him right away. But yes, first place here, we got Jinbei. 64% of the votes say Jinbei is the strongest fishman already. I think he will be. I think Jinbei will be the strongest fishman. But right now, like, I feel like there's going to be another power for Jinbei later on. So I don't want to give him the W right away. Second place, we have Barbell, the father of water, with 18% of the votes. We got to remember, Rocks hand-picked his crew. He hand-picked Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom. Rocks does not recruit slouches. He picked Barbell. All I gotta say. Next up, we got Fisher Tiger with 16% of the votes, the captain of the Sun. And this is an interesting one. I'll get more into Fisher Tiger later because the next couple of polls actually revolve around him. And now for last place, we have Sunbell, Rogers Fishman, and I cannot believe it. The guy that sailed with the Pirate King, a guy that knows about Joy Boy, Laughtale, and everything, only 3% voted for him. Bro. I mean, I get it, right? Roger has a lot of lackluster companions. But there's no way Sunbell is that bad, right? Right? That's crazy. Oh, also, for my vote, this is me without the Barbell agenda. I think I would pick Barbell. Either Barbell or Sunbell. Jinbei, I think, will be the strongest. But right now, I don't know. I like to imagine there's room for Jinbei to grow before he becomes number one. So, top comment says, if Oda even shows a glimpse of Barbell in any of the next chapters, bro's gonna make at least 3 videos, 5 polls, and 2 podcasts for the next few weeks. You know it. We're gonna eat it up. Rogers Fishman is diabolical. He has no title! What do I call this guy? He has no title, no feats, no nothing. He is just Rogers Fishman. For all we know, he swims in a tank. We've never seen his bed. He is keeping Barbell alive. I don't think Oda will. Putting featless characters like Barbell and Sunbell when Jack and Sasuke exist is criminal. Okay, Sasuke ain't winning. I'm sorry. Like, I could put Jack. I think Jack would be a solid pick. Jack up here, sure. We could replace Rogers Fishman with Jack. But I feel like Jinbei just whoops him. I don't know, man. Like, we saw what Jinbei did to Who's Who. Jack is only, in my opinion, like 1 step up from Who's Who. I just feel like because we have such a direct reference there in terms of power, I don't want to put Jack on the list. I respect it, though. I do like to imagine Jack would get some of the votes. But comparative to Jinbei, I just feel like he wouldn't win. I mean, Barbell had a special bounty of 100 Barbillion berries. I made one joke about this, and here we go. Everybody's saying Barbillion. I love it. Jack not even getting a mention is funny. Fisher Tiger is the GOAT. Barbell shows up for 1 panel in a corner behind a rock. Bro, Barbell confirmed as the strongest Fishman and man marked by flames. 19% of the population just giving Sai a pity vote for real. How many people is this? Let me see. 15? What? Everybody showed up for the freaking Fishman poll? That's a lot. 15,000 votes? That's kind of crazy, dude. What the heck? I don't even think 15,000 people are going to watch this video. When it comes to poll videos, depending on what the topic is, obviously people will not click on it. If I put a video up there, which is this video, about Barbell only, a thumbnail of Barbell in the title, what are the chances people are actually going to click this video? I do not think 15,000 people will. I'm going to be so honest, man. I feel like context shows that Fisher Tiger was in a league of his own when it came to strength. Dude climbed the red line and freed slaves from Mary Geoise. I'm still taking Jinbei. The feats are inarguable. Jack should be the only true debate. The rest of these people are scaled based on whose crew they sailed on. That is true. That is very true, right? That's the reason I put Barbell and Sunbell up here, and I give them a lot of respect for it too. Like they just sailed with the crew. They might not be fighters, but they were on the crew. That's a lot of reputation right there. Father of Water is a tough epithet. Hey, Sai, on a side note, I was just wondering, what do you think of the egg on Roger's ship? The egg was shown since the timeline of 1 year before God Valley, and Roger reached Laughtale in the same timeline. Does that mean he got that from Lodestar? Would that somehow be related to helping the One Piece? Or related to the man marked by flames, or the birth of a real serpent reincarnation of the one from the previous world or so, which was from the mural? It'd be real instead of just a symbolism for the red line or some other creature. I think it's another creature. I think it's simple as that. Did he pick it up from Lodestar? Possible, but we have no real inclinations. All we know is that Rogers had this egg for a very long time, and it probably has already hatched. I like to imagine it's in Elbaf, it's in the Heaven World, but who knows? I don't think it's the serpent, though. I think the serpent is just the red line, but it could be like the bird monster that's atop the tree. I think that's pretty plausible. But we will see. We don't really have any information on the egg so far. We don't even know if it makes noises or if it is a real egg. People are saying it's an egg room. We have no clue, brother. Jack clears the entire list. He fought Dog and Cat for 5 days straight, then fought Fujitora and Sengoku the next day. Okay, wait. He lost the Sengoku and Fujitora fight, though. He didn't win this one. Also, he fought Sudo, too, I think. As far as the 5 days, 5 nights, that is a really good feat. I can't even deny that. Damn, okay. Put Jack in here. Jack versus Jinbei. I think I would pick Jinbei. Am I crazy? Maybe. Maybe we'll hold another poll. I didn't expect the Jack love to be this strong. Maybe I'll hold another poll between Jack and Jinbei. I just feel like Jinbei would win. Like, Who's Who? If Who's Who pushed Jinbei hard, maybe I would lean towards Jack. But all I recall from Jinbei versus Who's Who is that Who's Who was talking and Jinbei was just doing this the entire time, like expressionless and everything, and he beat him in like, I think 3 hits. So it's like, yeah, I think he could easily punch up and beat Jack. The only reason I think Jinbei didn't fight Jack is because Inuarashi Nekomamushi had history with them because of this right here. But that's my opinion. Sunbell will be waiting for Luffy at Laughtale, and we will see his true ability. Like his name represents, he will ring the bell to the Sun God's true arrival in the modern world. Ooh. Yeah, nah, dude, imagine Sunbell and Barbell together at Laughtale waiting for Luffy. I mean, I was talking about Jinbei potentially getting a power-up as the series goes on in this final saga. This isn't racist, but what are the chances that Sunbell and Barbell become Jinbei's mentor? They could be Jinbei's Rayleigh. You know, oh, Jinbei, your martial arts isn't looking too good. And then, boom, Jinbei gets a massive power-up. He learns Muay Thai from Barbell. He learns Taekwondo from Sunbell, and then now Jinbei's just absolutely cracked. Maybe even Robin hops in because she knows some Fishman karate too. I think that'd be sick. And also, one more thing I wanted to add in, but there is a giant catfish yokai in Japan called Onamazu. And this catfish is known for causing earthquakes and natural disasters. Could this be why God Valley sank? Does this mean that Barbell is at the bottom of God Valley right now? Or is this a sign that Barbell might actually join the ranks of the God Knights? So, next poll. These are kind of arbitrary. I was kind of like on the fighting path because I was watching the Fisher Tiger flashback. But here we go. Who would win in this fight? Fisher Tiger or pre-time skip Kaku? So, I love Fisher Tiger. I think he's a great character. I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of Hody Jones. I love the whole arc in general. I am not in the majority that thinks that Fishman Island is awful. I actually really enjoyed it. So, I wanted to know, you know, Fisher Tiger, how do we feel about him? How strong is he? And the main reason I ask is because despite him being the guy that freed slaves at Mary Geoise, we also have to acknowledge that he lost in a pretty bad manner. He was ambushed by, I think, 10 gunmen, nameless gunmen, and Rear Admiral Strawberry. Rear Admiral Strawberry, which is below Vice Admiral, and 10 gunmen were able to put Fisher Tiger down. That's not looking good, man. Like, I want Fisher Tiger to be stronger or go out in a better way. Like, I feel like losing to Strawberry, a guy that we'll probably never ever see again, is kind of absurd. And because his death left such a bad taste in my mouth, or at least his final fight left such a bad taste, I had to ask, you know, who would win, Kaku or Fisher Tiger? And I say pre-time skip Kaku because, you know, post-time skip has like the awakening and that's kind of crazy. So yeah, here we go. 77% of people say that Fisher Tiger would win it. Now, I was kind of shocked. I didn't think it would be this one-sided, but I respect it. You know, I do respect that a lot. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Rear Admiral Strawberry stocks are getting high. They are. Hey, if we're saying Fisher Tiger would beat Kaku, we're saying that Strawberry would too. And we don't know what Strawberry can do. You know, Rear Admiral's going burr. All I'm saying is that Kaku could not have freed the slaves at Mary Geoise. Yeah. Do we go to that poll? Because that is the next poll, actually. Not Kaku, but like the slave portion. We'll talk about that here in a bit. The disrespect a Fisher Tiger. Barbell, Sunbelt, Jinbei, Sai. The Fishman will surprise them all. Hey, I'm for it, dude. People think I'm anti-Fishman. I'm not. I love the Fishman. I don't like mermen. You know, if you want me to get racist, I don't like mermen. Fishman, though, those are my guys. Fisher Tiger, at least Jinbei level. Also, none of his crew saw him go to the island, so we don't know how the fight actually went. But being able to break out of Mary Geoise and be the captain, who Jinbei still respects, is enough for me to say this is a stop. So going back to the Rear Admiral Strawberry fight, Fisher Tiger pretty much lost without ever wounding Strawberry, at least from what it looked like. Strawberry had no wounds on him by the time Jinbei showed up, but Jinbei, he was on a different level. Jinbei did beat Strawberry and the 10 gunmen. Fisher Tiger could not. So I think that is saying something crazy about Jinbei, more so than Fisher Tiger. He climbed the red line. Kaku mid-diff. You're crazy for this one. Yo, didn't Fisher Tiger get killed by actual fodder, though? That's the tough part. I wish Kizaru was the one who did it. Because here's the thing. Behind Rear Admiral Strawberry was Kizaru. Kizaru was the mastermind, but he wasn't present during this fight. If Kizaru was here, I think that would have looked way better. If Kizaru was there, nobody would be like, oh, Fisher Tiger is a bum, or Fisher Tiger can't fight. I just think the Strawberry thing is just crazy. Like, unless we see Strawberry current day, and he's like a damn Admiral candidate, I don't know, brother. Like, maybe he has a cracked devil fruit. He could potentially have, like, the anti-Fishman devil fruit. Maybe he, like, you know, takes oxygen out of the air or something. You know, something stupid. Strawberry might just be that guy. You know, maybe we gotta really just bump up the Strawberry stocks. So, because of this sweep by Fisher Tiger, I was, again, curious. So, I now put Luffy in the ring. Pre-time skip Luffy. Marine forward, you know, gear third, 400 million berry Luffy versus Fisher Tiger. You know, for bounty scaling, I believe Fisher Tiger's last bounty was like 250. I could be wrong about that, but I do think that's what it was, roughly. So yeah, Fisher Tiger versus pre-time skip Luffy Marine forward with all his gears. And this is a lot more equal, right? We got 58% on Fisher Tiger's side, while 42 are on Luffy's. This comment says, Barbell comes in and beats both. Bogart joins and starts fighting Barbell for 10 days straight. I wish Fisher Tiger could have seen Emu's side of humanity. Can we get some Donjin Jiao scaling? Garp the Fist, one of the strongest in the verse, literally needed prep time for this man. Where's all this Fisher Tiger love coming from? Can't say I expected it, but he is really underrated. Fisher Tiger always comes off like a more dangerous version of Arlong. Fisher Tiger died a long while ago, giving Jinbei time to train and probably surpass him. Fisher Tiger, we for real right now? They should have sent a Rear Admiral to deal with Luffy pre-time skip since their stocks are so high. Bro died from bullets. Not many One Piece characters die that way. Fisher Tiger got packed up by Strawberry when he was Rear Admiral and some fodder Marines. Then Strawberry got one shot by Jinbei. Oh, did he? Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, Marine forward. Yeah. Anyone who could beat a Vice Admiral easily beats Fisher Tiger, including Dellinger, until Oda retcons it. What are these polls? For this poll, I am a Celestial Dragon. Plot armor for the win. We really don't have a good grasp on how strong Fisher Tiger was, but I can't really imagine him being stronger than Marine forward Luffy. This is slander bait, and it doesn't go unnoticed, Sai. My boy ain't being clapped by a fish. Picture threw me off, but I imagine Fisher Tiger is stronger than Jinbei, and Jinbei is definitely stronger than pre-time skip Luffy. I think Jinbei was stronger than Fisher Tiger. In the beginning, we did see that Fisher Tiger whooped Jinbei when Jinbei was just a thug. And then, later on, I think Jinbei did get stronger while he was on the crew. Because, like I said, Tiger got wrapped by Strawberry and the 10 Marines. Jinbei showed up and he finished the fight. He beat Strawberry and the 10 Marines. So it's like, I don't know about that one. I guess one way, though, that Fisher Tiger could win is if there's water nearby. If Fisher Tiger has, I don't know, like a pond or a lake, I guess it would change everything. Like, it depends on where they fight. Maybe I should have said landlocked or maybe Arlong Park, so it's half-half. But yeah, I am leaning towards Luffy on this one. This one, I'll give to Fisher Tiger. This one, I'd give to Luffy. So now, next poll. How was Fisher Tiger able to successfully attack Mary Geoise? This is a big question. Was Fisher Tiger really just that guy. Was he stronger? Was he faster? Was he smarter? How did he do it? Is it because he had a layout of Mary Geoise already in mind? Because he knew where he was going to, right? He knew exactly how to break everybody out. He was a slave there. Or was the reason he was able to successfully break everybody out was because Imu and the God Knights simply didn't care? Which sounds absurd, but it's not crazy. I mean, hell, when the revolutionaries attacked Mary Geoise, Green Bull and Fujitora fought off the Revs. Where were the God Knights? Sabo made it to the throne room. Walpole made it outside the throne room. The God Knights were not present. They were not there at all. Did they just not care about anything? Hell, Rox D. Zebek killed an admiral, kidnapped 5 kings, made it to the flower room, saw Imu and Gunko, and they didn't do anything. I think that the God Knights just might not have cared. Oh, that fish guy is breaking the slaves out? All right, it's fair enough. I'm not going to stop him. You think I'm about to go outside and fight that guy? I'm okay. I'm just going to chill with butterflies. Maybe that's it. Next up is that the Knights were not home, or they were busy with some other activity. So this is an odd one because, it's like, wait, where are the Knights going? But we do know that the Knights do leave the Holy Land. Even in this Elbaf flashback, Garling was talking about how he was on a mission, and then that is how he stumbled upon the Davy clan in God Valley. So the God Knights do leave the Holy Land. So there is a chance that they simply weren't home. Hell, maybe even Fisher Tiger planned for that to be the case because he was there, As a slave, surely he knows his master's schedule. Like, oh, Garling is leaving Saturday for a vacation. Maybe a rabbit hunting tournament is taking place, and he's gonna show up while all the fighters are not home. That would be really smart in my opinion. And now for the last option, Oda simply didn't plan the God Knights yet. And this seems weird at first, but Fisher Tiger was introduced at Fishman Island. We didn't hear about the God Knights until post-Wano. No mention of the God Knights all the way until we get post-Wano. Yeah. I do not think Oda had the God Knights planned yet. I do not think they were in his sketchbook. He might have had, ideas for them, but I doubt he had, Garling penned in. He didn't have Maffy drawn out. I think this is a very good excuse right here. Oda simply did not know those guys existed yet. He did not know that the Holy Land had fighters. Personally, if I didn't pick the fourth option, right? If I didn't want to say that Oda didn't plan them out yet, I would simply say that the God Knights didn't care or that they were busy. I do think Fisher Tiger is very powerful. Yes, he scaled the red line. Yes, he was pretty strong. But if the God Knights were really home, they'd cook him, dude. So I'm just going to say they didn't care. They didn't care about the kings being kidnapped. They didn't care about the dead admiral. They didn't care that Rox made it all the way to Imu's room. I feel like a couple of slaves escaping, they're probably just going to capture them the next day and have some fun with it. I think that's what it could be. So, going into the comment section, let's see here. This is, of course, Barbell threatened the world government to not kill Fisher Tiger and to let him go. Otherwise, he would have revealed the location of the last poneglyph that he's been carrying. That'd be insane. I mean, this would be like Naruto, right? In Naruto, it's not a spoiler. Naruto's been over for so many years now, like a decade over. We learned that Itachi wasn't the only one who was there that night. Madara was there. Madara was there. So it's like, wait a minute. What if Fisher Tiger and Barbell worked together? Hell, put Sunbell in there too. Yeah, the Roger Pirate Fishman also worked with Fisher Tiger. That'd be pretty cool. Garling saw Fisher Tiger and realized he is not a background character in Dip. No, the Garling slander. And this was 7 days ago. You see this? This was before the Garling chapter. Oh my God. He was already getting cooked. I used to wonder how Fisher Tiger was able to get past the Holy Knights and escape Mary Geoise. Now I'm wondering how the Holy Knights were able to survive Fisher Tiger. I think at this point, we can all see Fisher Tiger low diffing all the Holy Robo. I think the Holy Knights were planned since Marineford, or at least Shanks-Shamrock's evil twin brother was, because if not, who is Dragon and the Revolutionaries even going to fight in the world government if they were also Luffy, Blackbeard, and Shanks' final opponents? This is an interesting one. You could say that Oda wasn't planning for them to fight anybody, Because by Marineford, we didn't really see all the commanders yet. All we had was Ivankov. After Ivankov, that is when Oda introduced the cardinal directions. And then post Wano, when he talked about the God Knights for the first time, that's when we really saw the subdivision commanders like Jerome, Ushiano, Gambit, and Ahiru. So I think it lines up with when Dragon created the rest of the revolutionaries. Barbell taught him everything he knew. They let him go so that they can hunt him again. That's crazy. Hey, Garling, let him go, and then we can have a competition to see who can capture that fish tomorrow. Nuts. Knights weren't there busy. They got sent on a mission outside of Mary Geoise. Even now, they aren't there while the place is on fire. Literally had to call Shanks' brother back to help. Oh, that's a good point. No, this is a really good point. Yeah. Another instance where a God Knight is not home. Like, hey, Shamrock, we need you back. The Holy Land's on fire. Maybe they did that with Fisher Tiger. They're like, hey, none of us are home. We got to reach out, get them all back ASAP. But Fisher Tiger, because he has prior knowledge to how the Holy Land works, he probably knows that he's on a time crunch, so he quickly went in and left. Yeah, I think it could be like a nice mixture of a lot of these. Oda didn't plan them, they were busy, they didn't care, and Fisher Tiger just had the layout of the Holy Land mapped on the back of his hand. This says, I think if it is to be written well, something along the lines of the attack was not as big or bad as the Fishman tell it. The Marines could handle it essentially. Sometimes we forget our cast and story is around the big dogs, top of the verse. So it's hard to remember, but at one point, a captain or vice admiral was dispatched to deal with threats. We just happen to be the island destroying threats now. I think Fisher Tiger is just him. He was captain of our boy Jinbei after all. Surely he had some great skills. If we ever get a reimagined Fishman Island arc, I hope that they make Fisher Tiger a straight fighter, an actual killer, because I think he deserves to be. Because personally, I don't like thinking about, does Kaku beat him? I'm not happy about this poll. I don't like asking these questions. I want Fisher Tiger to be that guy. Just sadly, we didn't get much of it. We didn't. I hope that if we ever hit Fishman Island with the Wit Studio remastered remake, that Fisher Tiger is out here throwing elbows, dude. He has like the special martial arts that only he can do. Oh my god, he'd be like Baki's #1 opponent. But now, speaking of fighting, we got one last fight to bring up. This is a goofy one. But who wins the battle? No steroids whatsoever. Arlong or Hody Jones? So I thought this was fascinating. Arlong was an absolute monster during Arlong Park. Luffy. I wouldn't say Luffy struggled with him, but Arlong wasn't exactly a pushover. And then Hody Jones, of course, not a pushover as well, but, we handled him with ease post-time skip. But of course, we do have to remember that we leveled up a lot post-time skip. So who would win? Outright. Yeah, it's tough because if we saw Arlong post-time skip, we could say him. Like, oh, Arlong got stronger after he was captured by the Marines. Maybe that's the case. But because we only have one reference of Arlong, we do have to go off of the pre-time skip variant. I like to imagine Arlong would win. I want Arlong to be that guy. Because Arlong was essentially Hody Jones' mentor, or at least the guy who instilled hatred within him. Dude, it was insane. You know how we have that picture of Roger doing this and Luffy's like a little kid like that, like, woo, and they have the same dream? We literally had that with Arlong and Hody Jones. Arlong was like this, like, oh, hate the humans, kill the humans. And then Hody Jones was like, yes, Arlong, yes. Bro, we had that 1-to-1. I was shocked. I was looking at that. I was like, dude, what the hell? I forgot about this. But yeah, Arlong was that guy. Hody Jones wanted to join Arlong's crew and be his right-hand man. And unfortunately, man, even though I want Arlong to be that guy, I think Hody Jones would win. I think he would. And it goes back to a certain line that we got during Fishman Island, where Hody Jones used, no steroids, by the way, no steroids yet. He did a water bullet. I think it's like shark darts or whatever. No, shark darts is where Arlong uses his nose. I think it's just like a water bullet, yeah. He uses a water bullet, and Usopp says, oh my god, he's stronger than Arlong. Like, these are stronger than Arlongs. He says that explicitly. So it's like, okay, I think Hody Jones is stronger by this point in time. Maybe if we see post-time skip Arlong, that'll change. But yeah, I would give it to Hody Jones. And it kind of goes back to like the whole thing back here, right? We were talking about like Jinbei and Fisher Tiger. And people are like, oh, but Fisher Tiger was Jinbei's captain at one point. But it's like, dude, Jinbei was stronger than Fisher Tiger by the end of it. Even though Hody Jones wanted to be Arlong's right-hand man, I feel like Hody would be stronger. And it's funny because, you know, Hody Jones has the Arlong tattoo on him. So it's like, damn, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. This says, blue hockey transcends all. This makes me realize how much of a bum Arlong was in the story. Bro is so cheeks. He could only terrorize an East Blue village and had the nerve to walk around with the demeanor of a Yonko, as if no one could step up to him. Rockstar could handle you, buddy. Dude, Rockstar, wait a minute. Rockstar could handle a lot of people. That guy is tough. Do not underestimate the GOAT known as Rockstar. Base Hody Jones took attacks from time skip Luffy with armament hockey. Arlong loses to Luffy at his weakest. I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, and Hody Jones, he kind of got one shot by Zoro post-time skip. But I'm not going to lie. I think Zoro would also just no-diff Arlong post-time skip. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing. 71% for Arlong is crazy. I think that's because we all like Arlong. And because they do have, like, that father-son thing going on here, right? It's because Hody Jones idolizes Arlong. And I feel like eventually, we're going to be asking this about Luffy. Like, oh, who wins, Luffy or Shanks? It's like, well, Luffy would lose for a majority of the, you know, the story. But by the end of it, it's like, yeah, I mean, Luffy would win, right? At some point, Luffy will surpass Shanks. Kind of like how at some point, Hody Jones surpassed Arlong. This says, his octopus subordinate, without the steroids, ate a jet pistol from Luffy and delivered a counterattack. Then Luffy called him tough. That very same day, a pacifista took a jet pistol and got obliterated. A pacifista was able to fight tooth and nail with the whole crew at once at Sabaody pre-time skip. Hody would flatten him, I agree. Yeah, it's just hard to imagine Hody winning, but he'd win. And as far as weapons, Hody has a trident to combat Arlong's saw blade. And not to mention, but Hody Jones, being a shark fishman, he also had like this blade he attached to his back, and he would like fly around and slash people up. I think that would rival Arlong pretty well. 1,000%. Shonen logic dictates Hody would be stronger, but if Arlong appeared again, he would probably stomp with his slave gains. This is how I feel, actually. Yeah, no, I mentioned that earlier, right? Right now, Hody Jones wins. But if we see post-time skip blue hockey Arlong, Arlong would clap. 1,000%. And, you know, I want Arlong back in the series. I held a poll a while back asking, like, oh, are we going to get more Arlong later on? I think we will. You know, I think Jinbei and Arlong, at some point, they're going to have to meet. And Arlong, at least for me, I think he has to come to the realization that he was wrong all along. Because when Fisher Tiger died, Arlong's takeaway was that all humans are still bad. Humans deserve to be enslaved, which isn't what Fisher Tiger wanted Arlong to do. And Otohime didn't want that either. But, you know, maybe Arlong, after he gets broken out of prison or wherever he's at, potentially he'll see that, you know, Jinbei was right. Maybe humans are not all evil, right? Maybe the Strats aren't that bad. And, you know, he comes to a big realization, and then him and Jinbei just team up and they fight the Holy Knights together. Going back to this, Jinbei could be trained by Sunbell, and then Barbell could train Arlong. Oh my god, brothers? Oh, wait, if Sunbell and Barbell are brothers, they could train the brothers. Because, you know, Jinbei and Arlong, they're essentially brothers, man. Oh, wait a minute. That'd be so good. Speaking of Arlong, where is he now? He's not dead. We know he's alive, and we also know that he was captured by Marines. Hachi said that during Sabaody. He said, oh, I was the only one to escape. The rest of them got sent to prison. Well, we go to Impel Down, and they're not there. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think that Arlong, kind of like Barbell, he could be a celestial dragon slave current day. Imagine that. Jinbei, Nami, the Straw Hats, they go to the Holy Land and they see Arlong there. Do we bust them out? I think we do. I think we do, man. That would be crazy. And just imagine, too, the Holy Land right now is on fire. What are Fishman known for? What has Jinbei been doing time and time again? Ever since he joined the Straw Hats, he's been putting out fires. Imagine Shamrock yanks a chain. You know, Emu called them back. Shamrock yanks a chain, and here comes Arlong the Saw, putting out the fires of Mary Geoise. Ooh, that'll be disgusting. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. Let me know what you thought about all these polls down below. Let me know what you thought about this Fishman video. I'm telling you guys, I like these Fishmen, man. You know, despite my hatred towards the Long Arm Tribe, the Long Neck Tribe, the Kumate Tribe, Three-Eyed Tribe, Giants and Buccaneers, I like Fishmen, believe it or not. I think they look cool. I love the wacky combinations you get. And just something about swimming in water I think is awesome. I used to swim competitively, believe it or not. Yeah, don't let these Asian genes fool you, brother. I used to swim in competitions. I think that's why I vibe with them. But as far as mermen go, like I said, don't like them. I think the tail is kind of disgusting. But anyways, besides the point, you guys take care. Thank you for watching this video all the way until the end, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.